What you see is people who love America, who are genuinely concerned about the future. I came away with complete faith of how blessed we are. What I always hope and will always fight for is the core principles of the Republican Party need to be there. It's the idea of freedom. It's the idea of capitalism. It's the idea of making sure that government was intended to protect the rights and freedoms of the people. I have to make a decision between two. I don't have the luxury of dealing with anything else. When my daughter complains about groceries, I care about that. When my son is worried about getting a job and how he's going to afford insurance, I worry about that. When I look at what's happening on the border and safety, I care about that. So as a voter, I am not going for the person I like, and I'm not voting on style. I'm voting on substance. And I, as a voter, have to make the same decision you do. And that's the decision I make. At the end of the day, I'm an American, and I get the right to choose who I'm going to vote for. And that's what I'm doing. I take her at her word. I take her at her word that she wants to raise taxes for households over $100,000, that she wants to add a pharmaceutical tax and a health care tax.
I actually feel very strongly about this, is that we need to have Medicare for all.
I take her at her word that she thinks that illegal immigrants should be able to vote and be given driver's licenses.
I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role.
I take her at her word that she wants to ban fracking and kill a bunch of U.S. jobs.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Take her at her word.
Doug Schoen.
You don't have to agree with Trump 100% of the time to vote for him. Take it from me. I haven't always agreed with President Trump. But we agree more often than we disagree. And let me remind you, Kamala had one job, and that was to fix the border. Now imagine her in charge of the entire country. Under Donald Trump, we didn't have the border disaster we have today, and we won't when he is president again.
Absolutely. I think that, as my colleague pointed out, it is razor thin, and so every vote counts. Now, what I will say is you'd rather be Donald Trump than Kamala Harris right now. For the first time all cycle, Real Clear Politics reported yesterday that Donald Trump is leading in every single battleground state. His numbers are better than they were this time in 2016 and 2020. So he definitely has the momentum. Absolutely. Use Nikki Haley, use whoever you can, whatever surrogate you can find to go out there and press the case. I think that this caravan we're seeing at the border highlights that issue once again. I think that again, female voters that they're targeting right now and should be targeting, they care about border security. They care about the economy. Kamala Harris's best pitch is on one issue that's not moving the needle for her. People are still not sure where she stands. And I have to kind of laugh about, the flip-flopper thing about Nikki Haley, because Kamala Harris is the biggest flip-flopper in American political history.
Well,
and people still don't know where she stands. For instance, when it comes to fracking, her position is as clear as mud. That was yesterday. I saw a climate staffer of hers try and walk back her position there. Pennsylvania is not looking good for Kamala Harris. Neither is North Carolina. I can't believe she's not on the trail today. I think that's going to come back to bite her.
Said that Nikki Haley, once his nemesis in the primaries, could join him on the trail. She's done a robocall for him. She's recorded robocalls on his behalf. But if the Trump campaign deploys her, what kind of voters could that help with, and where do you think that they'll use her?
It will help with younger women because Trump is doing so well among older men. It'll help in these swing states, and Nikki Haley brings interest, brings attention among independents, among swing voters. There aren't many left, but what is left, they will listen to her, and it'll be a surprise because she has been so challenging of him, so negative towards him up to now. It's a very smart strategy, but in the end, it's not going to be the surrogates. It's going to be what they say and how they say it in the last 48 hours that will determine these final votes. The key for Haley is absolutely turnout, 18 to 29 women. The key for Donald Trump is absolutely union votes, young African-American men, and Latinos. It's too close to call right now. Who does better with those groups is the one who gets elected.
I think if Nikki Haley comes out and takes a blowtorch to Kamala Harris, I do think that people who are wobbling, that might be effective. I think Nikki Haley matters in this country. Too. I think she matters. I prefer her to stay home.
And me be in the closet.
But Cheney, I'll tell you that, all the chatter is about Donald Trump going to McDonald's. And I have to say, at first you heard people talking about it and they were cracking up and saying, oh my God, he's going to McDonald's. But you have to look at it.
The man loves McDonald's.
He loves McDonald's, but you know what? That was a great moment for him. It was really a great moment because, one, seeing him in there, making fries, being taught something, going out, even though these people didn't actually place orders, they were giving them food away, but being able to connect with people like that, those images were fantastic. I mean, I think, Nayland, what'd you think about it?
I thought it was genius. I thought it could have gone either really bad or really good, and they struck gold when they did that. I think it was really likable, and no matter how the Dems try and spin it, you can't make it out to be a negative thing. Everyone loved it.
It's also kind of crazy. I keep seeing these things that are like, fact check, Donald Trump does not actually work at McDonald's.
Right.
It's like, to your point, the media is just so ridiculous.
And out of touch.
Right, exactly.
But I think right now, as you look in the presidential election, people want to feel like they know you.
Right.
Like I felt that on the campaign trail, like they wanted to know who my kids were. They wanted to know who my husband was. They wanted to know what I did on a Friday night. They wanted to know like what you do for fun, all of those things. And Donald Trump is personable. Like if you meet him in person, he is personable. And I think anytime a candidate does something like that, you can tell whether it's genuine or not. The same thing with him attending the Al Smith dinner. I've done the Al Smith dinner. I think I did that back in 2019 when I was ambassador. It is a great way for people to see what your real personality is. It's
and make fun
fun
of yourself.
You make fun of yourself. It's fun. And super big mistake that Kamala Harris didn't do it. Because does that mean either one, she didn't want to make fun of herself? Two, was she too worried that Donald Trump would hit her? I mean, that's part of it. That's part of the fun. I can't imagine in any scenario where that was a good idea. So, I mean, I think Donald Trump has had a good week, and I know they say the polls are close, but in this next 2 weeks, it is all about putting yourself out there. People want to vote for someone they trust. Right. That's what this comes down to, is
and
trust.
That they can identify with. She's
agree.
showing us why she didn't make it to Iowa in 2019.
No, I think it's exactly right. And I think now you look into the next 2 weeks.
2019.
Yeah, discipline, discipline, discipline. That's what this is all going to be about, is being disciplined enough not to say anything crazy, not to say anything stupid, but being free enough to put yourself out there and let people know that you want their vote.